Check out this little beauty. I've just picked this up. I need some engine parts and stuff, and I thought if I can get myself a cheap machine, I will. This is, can't even read it, 99 GSX carb. And I'm working away on it, just pulling some parts off. Didn't think it was any big deal. And I'm looking at the choke and I'm going, hey, that's backed all the way out. And then I realized this is the runaway GSX. So I guess it was the father that brought the machine here, and then the son advertised it for sale on his marketplace profile. Didn't even realize it till just this minute that we got the old junker back. So anyway, that's kind of funny, but I'm going to start pulling this thing apart. We're going to part this thing out, but it'd be interesting to see what this looks like inside, especially with the runaway and all, if any damage occurred. So I guess let's just start pulling it apart. I noticed everything was jimmy rigged too. I pulled the pump off. It had 4 different bolts in it. What else was there? Yeah, the VTS does not work. You should hear the starter. Holy cow. Like, I don't know how these machines get so run down. Listen to the starter. Hopefully you can hear it. And you gotta hold the button like unbelievably hard. Like, what is that? So, yeah, this thing needs to be parted out, and that's what we're gonna do. Just took the bolt out of the trim module because it's not working, just clicking. So I want to be able to test it in the machine. Can I get that out of there? Take this to the bench and see if we can make something happen. Be nice to save that. And things that have value in parting out. Look at the gauge. Can barely see anything on there. So faint. Maintenance light. So that's junk. VTS. That motor's totally seized. I'll have to take that out, take it apart. More junk. So as you go along and you think you got a wealth of parts, you end up with a pile of junk. Okay, got all the stuff disconnected off the motor. Let me just clamp you on here and we'll crank this thing out of here. Snug again. Another snug one. We're jacked up everywhere. Bolt here. Engine mount there. That's why the hull is scratched there. Okay, let's see what we can do. We don't care about the hull because it's going in the trash anyway. But it'd be nice to get that bolt. Does this thing have to come out on a different angle? Probably. Suppose I could take the manifold off, make my life easier. Change the plans, brute force, got that bolt out. Man, these older machines were really tight in there. All right. At least the hull's going in the trash, otherwise I wouldn't have got that aggressive with it. Shall we do a once over? Just to see if we see anything. What do we see? Anything? Why the starter was screaming? 2 different bolts. Every part of this machine has been worked on. I don't see any holes in the case. Do these run with the water channel on them or not? That's interesting that it's not on there. Or did they just do the water channel delete? We'll have to check that out. Yeah, everything else, not seeing any damage. So we're gonna yank this thing apart, but that's got paint on it. I don't know. Interesting. And I just pulled the exhaust rave valve off. They call that a rave? Anyway, listen. It's things like that, you know, the machine isn't running right. How would you ever determine that there was a problem with that? Let's see what it is. Don't want to break anything. That screw around that baffle has come apart. There's another thing to fix, but easy fix. Every bit of this machine has been worked on. Raves off, manifold unbolted. I think I got all the bolts. All of them but 2 were tight. Look at the, oh, 2 gaskets. Gaskets on here. No. One was on one side, one was on the other. Look at that sealant, holy cow. If they just tightened the bolts, it probably wouldn't have leaked. Pop the head off. Okay, all the bolts are out. Let's, there's a pry spot over here. That doesn't do anything. Skinnier one. The one over here is one right here. Yeah. Nothing to grab onto. Do not want to ruin that head if it's good. But it doesn't want to come off. Really? How's she look, boys? Ooh, that's very clean. So the head is good. Cylinders, we'll have another peek in there. There's that lovely gasket that screwed me up on the last build. Don't know why that's so stuck. Ah, right through the glove. That hurt. That's a bleeder for sure. We'll ignore it for now. Rolls freely. That is a 8791. Slightly bigger piston versus the 8788. Yeah, 8791. Looks good in there. I'm gonna pull those jugs off now. I was thinking there was supposed to be rubber O-rings that go in here. I'm not seeing any. So does this just lift right off then without any problem? Maybe. See if we can get that jug off. Don't know. Glued. You have to pull the studs out? Doesn't seem to be much movement in that. Or does it just need a pry bar? Just tried to move it a little bit. It's not moving. I'm gonna try double nutting. Possibly pull the stud out. Oh boy, 17. That's crazy. There it is. Let's get this one out and then we'll have a look. That broke free pretty easy. Yeah, there's something, rubber in there or something. Yeah, that little rubber O-ring definitely causes some grief. Guess I'm double nutting them all. Come on. Now on to the cylinders. Let's get the pistons halfway down and rubber hammer again. Already got movement there. Up on the bench. Pistons are pretty scored. No up and down action there at all. This one, no up and down action. Wahoo! Plunk those pistons off and split the case. Yeah, I don't like the pistons at all. Got one off. Spilled a bunch of bearings down in there. Come on. Trying to be delicate as I can. The pins jam. Man, it just does not want to come out. Oh, there's a ring. There she is. Look at all the bearings. We'll find a couple down there now for sure. I wonder if they'll rotate. Yeah, they will. Crazy idea. Put them in a cage. Yeah, you can see the bearings down in the bottom. Let me get a light. So I was just kind of worried about that other rebuild we did, but you can see the bearings clear down there in the bottom. So, all right, let's split the case. Mag cover ready to come off. I'm finding all kinds of rogue bolts and washers, all different metric and imperial. Let's see what we got inside. It's got to be mint, right? Not horrible. Not horrible. All right. Look at how rusty the pickup is, though. Even with a cruddy, rusty pickup, though, it still ran. Puller going on. Lots of threads on that one. What do you want to run on that? A 20? Sorry, 21. And we're running reverse. Oh boy. Hammer, hammer. Nice. What's that right there? A little bit of a chunkaroo. Engine mount, or PTO, sorry, what am I talking about? Then we'll take the engine mount. Gotta get that off of there. And just like that, it's gone. Now rip that nut off of there. Definitely not 21, probably a 19. puller for that. And pull the PTO. Took the engine mount off, get it out of our way. Time to hammer down. Woo! That's her. Now we're definitely on our way. That's good. Starter bolt coming out. That's off a stator off a DI. Holding one side in, and the other side was a 7/16 bolt. Don't know what was going on there. Starter doesn't seem bad. Must be the starter because it was screamy as all hell. Bendix is nice. Don't know. Not seeing any good places to split the case. There's nothing anywhere. That's one side. Ooh, oil's coming to the counterbalance. That's a good sign. Very nice, just got a chunk out of it there. Don't think that chunk causes any issues. Now those caps, I guess, have to be installed when you assemble the case. A little different than the DI. Bearings are good. That's a good counterbalance. No up and down at all. Little side to side. Bearings. That part of the case looks pretty darn good. Or does it? That almost looked like a crack. No. Thought there was a crack there. That's gonna get a big bath. Seals. Bearings are still good. Seals are good. No rust. I do have some new bearings that we can slide on there though. Got everything cleaned up and inventoried. We got the cases, all the studs, counterbalance. We got the cylinders, the head is good. Crankshaft is good, cleaned her all up. Nice, smooth, everything is good on that. That'll give them some hours for sure. Threw the rest of the miscellaneous stuff in the basket. Sold the carbs already. There's the DI flywheel. Or not the DI, the carb flywheel. Don't mix them up, you'll get no spark. So that's that. Now I'm on to this machine. This one is also a part out. It does run, but it's got a misfire on the mag cylinder. So figure while we're doing all this ripping apart and tearing apart, I'm gonna fix that first, and then I'll tear it all apart and inventory it up there as well. So we went through a lot of stuff this summer. But my problem is I sold the gauge, and the gauge wiring harness has the plug-in for the Can-Do Pro. And I just realized that when I went to plug it in. So I got to get another gauge for this thing before we can go further with testing. But it'll only be a few seconds for you. Still waiting for the return of the gauge. So I put a spark checker on here. And we're going to run it, and I'll show you what's going on. It seems to be misfiring on spark. Dead, go. Dead, nothing. That's a weird one, right? So if I'm getting intermittent spark, then would that suggest the coil is bad? I've never had a bad one before. I'm going to put this on the rear one just to see how that behaves. See if it's more consistent. Whew, smoky in here. Yes, it seems more consistent on the back. So, for fun, what do I do? Do I change a plug first just to see if it runs any better? Just to see if the plug isn't causing some kind of weird problem or there's a crack in it somewhere. It's the right plug. This one's a ZFR6F. Was that a colder running plug? But I just want to get this thing just to see what the issue is. No, same issue. That's a weird one too. I've never seen that before. I'm going to swap out that coil. Just popped in another coil, plugged it in, and we'll just try it like this. Just as a test. Oh, different. Ooh, I got a mystery on my hand. So it's not the coil, it's not the wire, it's not the spark plug. So we got something going on with air injector, fuel injector then. I have not checked air and fuel pressure, by the way, but this one seems to be hit and miss. So that's why I was suspecting air injector, fuel injector, ignition. All right, moving on. What? I have a diagnostic port and a gauge. So now I can see what the heck is going on with this thing. And I need a vehicle's disconnected. We got gauge action. Wah! Can't believe I had sold that thing, not doing all the tests on this thing first. And I actually sold the Rave solenoid already, so hopefully that one is okay. What was wrong? Oh, active fault. Rave solenoid, I sold it. Anything fuel level sensor? What's for intake pressure sensor? 58 wrong pattern. Don't know. All right, mag. Yep. Yep. Oh, I heard a little poof. Huh. Nothing else that's given me any reason. Battery voltage, intake pressure's good. Let's see here. Faults. Clear the faults. I know it's going to have that Rave solenoid issue, but we don't care about that because we're not taking it out on the lake. And the Rave solenoid one is the only one that's active. That is weird. I don't know if that'll read it and tell us, or whether I have to shut it down and normal key. I'm going to shut it down and restart it just to see if I get any more codes. Well, no change. So that doesn't help us, other than I know that the fuel injectors and air injectors do activate. And all the other sensors are working fine as well, too, air pressure, air temperature. So now what? Gone through, I changed the fuel rail and the air injectors just for fun, just to be sure there was nothing messed up there. No change, change the spark plug, change the wire, change the coil. So it was just all easy things that I had. Check the map sensor, air sensor, no change. Now I got a scope in the reads. I don't know what that crap is in there, but that's probably part of what's going on. So, you know, I think at this point, I'm just going to call it on this thing, pull the motor, because I'm going to take it all apart anyway. I just wanted to see what was working, what wasn't working. I mean, it's got, everything is good. It's misfiring on that cylinder. I know that we're very low on fuel as well. So I'm going to just gut this one and put it on the shelf. But yeah, pretty Pretty clear too, these cameras. Pretty cruddy in there. So I'm sure that doesn't help, whatever's going on there. All right, guys, that's it for this one. This is just how I get my inventory. A lot of people ask, how do you get your parts? Well, this is how I buy machines and part them all out. I throw the hull away, sell off, or give away, you know, moldings and whatever I can, and clean all the parts up, bore or hone cylinders, get new pistons, new rings, and put them into new machines. And this year I went through a ton of parts. Everybody had a blown up motor. I got another one of these coming shortly, same problem. But we're at the end of the season. I'm pulling docks, I'm pulling all my machines out. I got my 2017 hasn't had a tune-up since 2017. I got to pull all the antifreeze out. I got new spark plug tubes because they are leaking a little bit of oil. The other wake, I've ordered the stretch bolts and the head gasket, so we got to replace that. Check that out. There's no coolant in the oil whatsoever after cruising around for the summer. Still going through coolant, and I have little black flake in the bottle, so I'm pretty sure that's the flake from the head gasket. So we got to fix that. So a lot of other things, and then geez, then we'll probably have some snow within no time. So anyway, appreciate you watching, and who knows what we're doing in the next one. Well, there's the engine out of the GTX DI 2000 with a misfire on the front cylinder, and I couldn't find anything wrong. Computer was good, electronics, wiring was good, ignition coils, everything, other than there was a little bit of crud in the where the raves go, or reeds go. But then I pulled the mag housing off, found a bolt for the starter laying in there. Look at the reluctor wheel. That's why it was misfiring. That was toast, all rusted and bent, and that's what messed up the firing. That's amazing. Just one little bend like that, and she won't run right. Anyway, just a little update so that we know what the problem was. But look what you got to do. You got to tear it right down to the bottom end. So anyway, there you go.